Hi everyone, today's video will be very short because it is about most complicated repair on Lupo or Audi A23L, and it is about this bearing which belongs here. This bearing was just before collapse. It's completely worn. Also, maybe also its counterpart is a little bit worn, but not too bad. But this is the worst which can happen with a gearbox. If this breaks down, these rollers shoot themselves into this gear and that gear down there in the gearbox, and this is the fourth gear, and this fourth gear is not available at all. When I was able to buy it in Volkswagen, only one single wheel cost about 400 euros times two. Maybe one of them is more expensive, so it was around 1000 euros for one single gear, and also third gear used to go into heaven, maybe, or into hell, when this bearing makes this. So now I will change this. Maybe I will weld this third fork as a prevention, and of course I must clean all the gearbox with the petrol from inside, because in this case the gearbox is very dirty from inside. It has maybe half of the million kilometers. So interesting is that nobody opened it yet with this mileage, with these kilometers, and also the fork is not broken. And most interesting is that it is the absolute first edition of the Lupo 3L, model year 99, year 99. So it's very interesting. Maybe this welding is made better, I don't know. All gearbox doesn't look that bad. There is some mess on the magnet, but it is not worst I have seen. So I will buy this bearing. This bearing is from tin can and costs around 12 or 15 euros. So it's not expensive, and I recommend when your gearbox starts to make strange noises, mainly with the clutch depressed or not engaged clutch. It means when the gear is I'm sorry, when the engine is on the throttle, or when you braking with the engine, when you can hear some strange noises from gearbox, it is maybe a lastest kilometer before this bearing gets this, and these rollers goes into gearbox, and then you can throw away the all the gearbox, because we cannot buy this fourth gear. So it is all for today. Hope it will be helpful for somebody. Also, maybe as a prevention, I recommend to fill up the gearbox with the oil up to the speedo gear, which is somewhere in here. Don't use the filling cap, but unscrew this speedo sensor and fill the gearbox with the 3 liters of the gearbox oil. I recommend API GL4 gearbox oil. Viscosity index is not as important as many people think. I'm using 75W90, but it is not absolutely necessary to use this viscosity. You can use also higher viscosity. Maybe it's better for gearboxes which have more kilometers. Its lubrication ability for worn bearings is better, so absolutely recommended to make this, maybe as a prevention in some 400,000 kilometers. If you have gearbox which is 400,000 kilometers driven and never was opened, or oil changes was not done each and every 100,000 kilometers, so I recommend to take out the gearbox and make this bearing, and also third or fourth gear for engaging fork is needed to weld from the opposite side. Then you can see. So it's all for today. Have a nice day. Ciao.